Hello and welcome. I'm Jenny Hall. Thanks for joining me for another card making tutorial. Today I'm sharing how I created a double ombre background. I can keep it clean and simple and still add a punch of color and technique. I'm going to be using the Floral Arrangement stamps and dies from Altenew and a stencil from Hero Arts called the Bold Floral. My card base is made from Ranger's Stark White cardstock. It's 100 pounds and it's really nice, thick, heavy cardstock. So I've cut a panel that I'm going to use for my technique from the same type of paper. I'm going to work on the Waffle Flower Water Media Mat. There is something wonderful about using this mat for coloring. As you can see, I'm using some Distress Oxide inks, and if I dab it off on the water media mat, I can pick the color right back up, so nothing is wasted. So the frugal part of me really enjoys that. I'm doing the ink blending today with some makeup brushes that I have gotten from Amazon. There are several different kinds of makeup brushes around, and I would suggest that if you haven't used them yet, get something affordable to see if you like working in this type of technique, and then invest in the ones that are really good and will last you for a very long time. I have discovered that I do like using these brushes to blend. You can see that it helps to create a very easy, seamless blend, and I plan on getting the better brushes very soon. So I'm using a trio of colors on this panel to create a look of an ombre coral. So I've moved from the top right with Tattered Rose, put Carved Pumpkin in the midsection, and Candied Apple down in the bottom left. Distress inks, or Distress Oxide inks, are a little different in the fact that they lay on top of the paper without sinking in, and it takes longer for them to dry. So I have found that I need to give myself plenty of time to let my panel dry before moving on. Here's a look at the stencil that I'm using from Hero Arts. It's called the Bold Floral Stencil, and it is very nice. It's made out of mylar and it's heavy enough to stay in place. The water media mat also has a tendency to grab hold of paper or anything that's put onto it and hold it in place. So just a little washi tape is enough to keep it down and not move. I'm using 3 more colors of Distress Oxide inks and working from Mermaid Lagoon to Peacock Feathers and then Evergreen Bough in the top right hand corner. I want this to have a teal look and go from a light teal at the top to a deep teal down at the bottom. And the blue-greens work together very well. So when I peel off the mask, when the magic happens and you can really see what it looks like, and I'm happy enough with the colors there, and again I'm going to dry this. But as you can see, these oxide inks go very nicely on top of one another, so there's no problem with going in layers and working layer upon layer of color. They will definitely show up nicely. I'm going to add this panel to a little layer that is 1/8 of an inch larger than the panel, and I'm using some Nouveau Deluxe liquid glue so that I can have a few moments to slide it into place. Here's a look at the Floral Arrangement stamps and dies, and I'm really interested in this thank you die. So I've cut it 3 times from some sand colored cardstock, and I'm using that Nouveau Smooth Precision glue pen, the one that has the little ball bearing at the bottom, and it lets off just a teeny tiny little drop of glue, which is perfect for adhering these word dies. I have a piece of vellum so that I can help the die cut sentiment show up a little more, so I just adhered it to the card base, and I know I just made a very, very big choice on letting that adhesive show through the vellum, but I was in a really big hurry and I needed to run, so I thought I could let the adhesive go and cover it up with some Nouveau drops. So that's an excuse for me to use some more Nouveau drops, and it helped me work along a little faster. So this is the crystal drops that I'm using, and these are the white drops. They add a very nice pop of white color, and they tie the white from the card base and from the layer into the eye and bring all the colors together. And it helps to bring the sentiment and kind of make it stand out just a little bit more. I'm really loving all the Nouveau products that I've been using. They're working out so well and are very reasonably priced. So here is a bonus project. I had to cut away part of the technique panel to create it onto a card base. So I trimmed it, and I'm using the part that I trimmed away on another card. So this is getting 2 cards for the cost of 1. So I'm using more Distress Oxide inks to get that same creamy buttery ink look. And it will need time to dry, but even stamping off looks different with the Oxide inks. It's wonderful. I very much am enjoying using them. All of the Distress Oxide inks are so very nice to work with. Thank you for joining me today. All of the products I used are listed down in the video description with links for you to get more information, and there will be a free PDF over on my blog. Thanks again for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.